Well, now let's study the reconstitution of a firm. Well, reconstitution means change. So any change in the firm like introduction of a partner, retirement of a partner, expulsion of a partner, insolvency of a partner, death of a partner, or transfer of partner share. Any such change will be called as reconstitution of the firm. Now let's look at what happens when we introduce a new partner into the firm. For that, first let's understand how do we introduce a new partner into the firm. There are two ways of doing it. The first is with the consent of all the existing partners, or second is in accordance with the contract already entered into between the existing partners for the admission of a new partner. Suppose ABC were partners since 5 years. Well, a new partner D can join if all A, B and C agree to this. So this is the first way of adding a partner. The second way is the one with the contract it goes such follows. Suppose ABC started their partnership 5 years ago. One of the terms of the partnership deed was A could introduce any of his sons into the partnership when they attain majority. A's son Z attained majority and A proposed to B and C for admitting Z as a partner. B and C both refused for Z to join in as a new partner. Now what should be followed? The law, which says no new partner should be entered without the consent of all the partners, or the agreement between the partner which allows A to bring in his son on the age of majority as a partner. Well, time and again we have seen this dilemma in partnership, and always the agreement will win. Why will the agreement will always? Because the partnership is the common business of all the partners. So that is why the agreement will win over the sections. So in this case also, Z would be admitted into the partnership and now ABCZ would be the partners. Now what happens when Z joins the partnership? Well, Z would be liable for all the acts of the firm done by the firm after his joining as a partner, not before, unless otherwise agreed upon by the firm and the creditors. Let's continue with our example to understand this better. Except now let's forget that Z is A's son. So, as I said, ABC was formed 5 years ago. So since 5 years, they were doing business. They were selling, they were buying, they would have debtors and they would have creditors. One such creditor is Mr. X. The firm needs to pay Mr. X 30,000 rupees for certain purchases made before Z was introduced into the partnership. Now, as we know that the liability of the partners are joint and several, my question to you is, can Mr. X force Z to make the payment? Well, the answer is no, as the debt belongs to a time when Mr. Z was not into the partnership. So this was an act of the firm before his joining and not after his joining. And a new partner generally is only liable for the acts of the firm after his joining the firm, not before, except if he agrees upon it and also the creditors agree upon it. So if Mr. Z at the time of his introduction as a new partner agreed that, hey, I know I will be liable for all the acts of the firm after me joining, but I also want to be liable for all the acts of the firm before me joining. But this agreement of being liable for even the acts of the firm before Z joining is between A, B, C and Z and not Mr. X, the creditor. He does not know anything about this. Now ABC got insolvent. Z is still solvent. Now, as we know that the liability of partners are joint and several, my question again to you is, can Mr. X demand the money from Z? Let's look at the facts. A, B, C, Z are partners. Z has agreed to be liable for all the acts before as well as after his becoming a partner. And Mr. X does not know about Z's commitment to be liable for all the acts done before his admission of the partner. Well, my answer is Z cannot be liable. And the reason is, focus on this line again. A new partner generally is only liable for the acts of the firm after his joining the firm, not before. Except if he agrees upon it and also the creditors agree upon it. So not only the incoming partner has to agree for taking the debts, also the creditors have to accept and agree upon it. So Mr. X can only force Z to make the payment if all of the following happen. 1. Z agrees to accept the debts of the firm before his joining also. And new firm ABCZ agrees to accept the liabilities of the old firm ABC. And Mr. X agrees that he does not owe 30,000 rupees from the old firm ABC but owes 30,000 rupees from the new firm ABCZ. Only then Mr. X can compel Z to pay.